What's up, guys? Do y'all fish when conditions are this bad? Did you know that there's an effective way to fish when conditions are this bad? Well, I'm getting ready to show you that there is. And today we're gonna smoke some redfish on the Carolina rig. Today we are fishing out of Wanchese, North Carolina with Captain Ben Morris of Saltywaters Charters Guide Service. His home port is Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, but he fishes all over North Carolina and Virginia. Through the years, I've developed a respect for his many talents as a captain and angler, but after a conversation we had this spring about our Carolina rigging techniques, I knew I needed to get him on the channel. Whether you fish from shore or from a boat, this video has information that can help you out. Give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, let's roll.
So the bait I like to use, fresh mullet, as fresh as you can get it. Firmness is a big key. Usually clearer eyes than I have right here for a second, but the fresher the better you can get it, the better it's gonna work on these fish. Bad bait just doesn't seem to work that well. It's stinky to us, it's gonna be stinky to the fish as well. So the fresher the mullet, the firmer. You keep them on ice packed in there good, and it should work well for you guys. An alternative bait, bluefish works really well for drum. Sometimes I catch bluefish, the clients don't want them, I keep them as bait. Your croakers work well, your menhadens can work as well, tuna belly, albacore belly, stuff of that nature. Anything that's a little bit oilier, it all works pretty well. They're kind of a opportunist fish, so they just will eat pretty much everything. Crab works really well too, but everything eats crab, so the pickers will pick that to pieces too. So I never want to prematurely set it, because you'll rip them out of their mouth. And like you said, you might be on it. Take it, take it. There he is.
Oh yeah.
Nice. So we'll take that rod and we'll put it high. Put it right here, Kevin. You can. Just get out of the way. We'll put that one up high. I always put them high so people can work underneath of the other lines and they can stay out. You see him pushing the water right here.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Another thing I like to do too is after I put my rods high, so people can fight the fish, is just keep an eye on that fish where he's going to go, because if he goes, oh, that's a nice one. If he goes toward the motor, you got to get him out of the motor. And you're in 2 foot of water. They can't go down. All they can do is go back and forth. So you got to watch where the fish goes to be able to fight the fish properly. If he wants to stay back here, you stay back here. You never want to force them, because light tackle makes it fun, but it also makes it, the line can break. So I don't like forcing fish in. And then I'm gonna come up in front of you, so you can come behind me.
Okay.
Just watch that rod until I hold it. Then I like to come up and get my net man over his net from behind. Then head first, just like so. And bam! Target species. We've done it, fellas. Woo! Yes, sir.
Nice work. Nice work.
Nice job.
Pretty work.
That's such a pretty fish too. Oh my god.
4 bites and I finally got one. Look at that. Look, he was barely hooked. Look. Okay. And then when I handle these fish, if I go up in the gill, I try not to go in his gill plates, so that way I don't damage the fish. And you can hold them like this. Beautiful, beautiful Carolina drum. Love these fish. State fish. Love that we have them. Probably the hardest fighting fish on the inshore back here. It's just beautiful. Look at this blue tail. Doesn't get much prettier than that. Release. You always want to put their head first in the water, in the current, and rock them back and forth until they come out of your hands. You never want to throw them back, because sometimes they'll belly up. They've been fighting, so they're pretty exhausted. It's just the proper handling of these fish. Get the water going through her gills. Look, see, she's getting active. She's getting active. You just keep doing that until she comes out of your hands. There she goes. Bam!
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We got one. I thought you should have 4.
Stop.
But I'll take one.
Yes.
So Ben, when we talked a couple months, just had a nice hit right there.
Oh wow.
I just heard it. That was a drum bite. It sounded like.
That definitely sounded like a drum bite. All right. You want to check that one, or let it sit a minute?
Let it sit a minute.
Yeah,
I heard it.
Might.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was saying, When we talked a couple months ago, one thing that got me excited about doing this Carolina rig video was that we went through the same evolution with our Carolina rigs. We used to do it one way, and we have, in recent years, we have both changed the way we do it for a particular reason. And that's one thing that I want to share with our viewers, is just an important thing that they need to know about braid and fluorocarbon and monofilament, and how to rig that Carolina rig where they can get the most strength and the best use out of it. Will you go into that for a minute?
Yes, I will. So I used to put the slide weight right on the braid, and sometimes I would put a bead like right above it or below it, so it would go into the knot, and then I would start my fluoro onto my hook that way. And I noticed over time that it was just fraying the line a little bit here and there, and then after a couple of uses it would break. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do something different. So now I go braid to fluoro, and then go to a barrel swivel, about, I don't know, 16, 18 inches of, maybe shorter, depending on what you like, of fluoro, about 30-pound test, to your slide weight on that, to another barrel swivel, straight to another piece of fluoro off that barrel swivel to your hook. And I found that when it slides up and down that, there's no fraying, it lasts a lot longer, it tends to work better. And so I've kind of been stuck with it since a couple years now, doing it that way. Seems to be holding up better, working better, casts fine, catches a lot of fish, doesn't break as much, which is nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So just always trying to evolve everything that I'm doing out here to make it better and more user-friendly and just work better.
All right, now that's a pro tip right there that you guys should really listen to. When braid came out, and sometime in the last 20 years, all of us have switched to braid. Everybody used to use monofilament, and with Carolina rigs, there really was no variation of how you could do it. But when braid came out and everybody started using braid, I think at first the obvious thing to do seemed that you had to put that weight on the braid. It just seemed like the right thing to do. But like Ben said, it's going to fail on you, and that's one thing that both of us have learned, is that in time, maybe on that trip it's going to fail on you. Definitely on the next trip. For my personal experience was I'd grab my rod that was to go on another trip, on my second trip, and I'd always look at my knots and my leaders when I go fishing again, and I would look at that braid, and it was so frayed that one time I just grabbed it and went like that, and it broke. And that's when the idea popped in my head that you have to have that additional mono or fluoro for that weight to slide on, because it's not as abrasive. And that almost sounds contradictory, because braid is stronger. Braid can handle abrasion on a pylon, but it's not something that you want to be constantly happening over and over and over again, especially out in windy conditions like we've got right now. Those weights are just rolling around on the bottom, and with it, they're rolling on that braid. And with each roll, it's wearing and tearing that braid. Do you agree with that?
I totally agree, 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
You want to add anything to that?
No, I think you covered it all. I mean, like you said, the rolling of it, and then just it sliding up and down. Even when a fish hits it and starts taking it, that's why you want that little bit of movement so I can get a hold of it and grab it and take it before it feels tension. You know what I mean? Then it's hooked up usually. So you want that slide, but you just don't want it to abrade your line.
That's an excellent point. So it's not that you're not trying to make it so the fish cannot feel anything on the end of the line, no resistance. You just don't want him to feel dead weight. You don't want him to pick up that bait and immediately feel dead weight, because that's odd to that fish.
Yeah.
So just having 6 inches of, or 6 to 12 inches of mono for that weight to slide on allows that fish to get that bait in his mouth, eat it, take off with it. Circle hook does its job right in the corner of the mouth.
So now I use circle hooks. Been for a long time now, but when I was younger I didn't. I used J hooks. And circle hooks just go right in the corner of the mouth for the safety of the fish. They don't swallow them as much. They still will occasionally, but it's for the safety of the fish, and the hook set seems to be better. So I don't seem to miss as many fish with them. I use a number 8. Some people think it's kind of big, but I mean, when I was using smaller ones, they were swallowing the mess out of them still. And they swallow number 8, but I have no problem catching even small ones on number 8s. So that's kind of my go-to. Another good one. Woo! Look at another drum. I like this spot for Carolina rigging. Usually with the tide going out, the hard southwest wind, current wind are all going the same direction. You know, it kind of comes out of about 3 or 4 foot of water, goes in about 2 foot to almost nothing sometimes. Nice grass ridge that's running behind the boat here, and then there's sand behind it, but the grass ridge comes by the back of the boat and then kind of heads to the southwest. So there's a good area to be able to focus a spread of casting, and that's where your drum are going to be, is usually in that grassier area. There's a lot of grass with potholes of sand, you know, and then some more sand behind it that's nice and flat. This area just channels and funnels the water through it really nicely, so they like current, and that's kind of how I kind of focus on a lot of my spots where the current's running through, where the water's moving through it kind of fast. There's some grass. It's going to hold some bait. They can go in there and root. Might be some crabs. They just kind of tend to be in those areas. Love where we live. Love where we live. Once again, just let it take water through its gills and let it swim out of your hands. All right. Yeah. I think it helps put a scent out there. So after I finish getting all the meat off the fish, I will come over here to the side and I will scrape this to release oils and everything else into the water. I feel that it puts a slick back there. It's like having a chum bag, so to speak. Can't hurt, why not do it? All right, let's get a couple more. So we just moved to another spot. We thought we saw the fish, and then I pulled the anchor and kind of drifted back to the original spot, and first, second, or third rod out, bam, there he is.
Nice.
Right back where we started. Ooh, that's a good one. There she goes. Love these flutter fishing reels. These are the most recent ones right here they sent me. Style of charter boat that I like is basically what I have now, and you know, I worked for several years before I got this boat, which is a 24-foot Sea Ox made by Pear Customs, Pear Marine, at a Little Washington. You know, I was talking with Brian about getting one made, and then, you know, COVID hit and all that stuff, and you know, a year later this one kind of came available and it all worked out, and now I got a, you know, great relationship with Brian Pear. Makes a great boat. I wanted an open bow plan versus forward seating, back seating like my old Pathfinder had, which are great boats also. Just didn't work out for my style of fishing in these conditions we have here, because it can be real calm, but it can also get real rough real fast. So an ideal boat here is you know, a V front going to a flat back, modified V's they call it, so it can take the chop well, and it also get real skinny. So when you're fishing for drum like we are now, we're in 2 foot of water, I can still sit here no problem and not hit bottom. I can run in 18 inches of water. So I do a lot of family trips in the summertime. You know, of course, I always appreciate that, you know, you're really hard at it anglers. They're always great to have, and I get a lot of those. Got a lot of repeats like that too as well. But I do offer family trips. So I mean, I love teaching people how to fish. You know, sometimes people get on here a little nervous to even ask questions. I'm like, please, I'm here to teach you. Ask all the questions, you know what I mean? Because you can take this home with you, and you can fish freshwater very similar to you can this water. Maybe not drum fish, but you know, a lot of casting. I do a lot of casting for trout, do a lot of casting for drum too when it's calmer. You can go, you know, find them sight casting, which is cool. Unlike now, we're drum fishing with bait. So yeah, I do a lot of, you know, offer 4-hour trips, 6-hour trips, and full day trips. You know, usually your all day trips, we're gonna do a variety of things because you have more time, of course. 4-hour trips can be anywhere from a trout trip to sheep's head trip, or to anchoring up on windy days like this and drum fishing. You know, if you got a little bit of time, you can move around and hit quite a few spots so you can find them. Come on, take it, fish, take it. Oh God, that one got hit.
Y'all, we are getting hit like crazy. We got drum all around the boat.
This one got hit like 25 times.
We finally got this fish. We caught a lot of fish on this trip, more than I can show in one video. Whether you fish from land, boat, or kayak, these techniques work anywhere in the world, and especially in rough conditions when casting lures is difficult. If you'd like to book a trip with Captain Ben Morris, all his information is posted below in the description. I promise you won't be disappointed. As always, thanks for watching and supporting the channel. I'll see you on the next one.